So, what if the world's greatest hero was also its prophesied destroyer? Today, we're diving deep into an epic fantasy where the savior of the world is carrying the ultimate evil inside of him. And his friends? Well, they have to journey into his very mind to wage a war for his soul. This is a story all about cosmic lore, intense metaphysics, and the craziest internal conflict you can imagine. And this story starts on a huge cosmic scale. Right from the prologue, we're told that all of creation comes from a tripartite God. That tells you this isn't just some simple backdrop for good versus evil. It's the fundamental metaphysical rulebook for their entire reality. Okay, so to really understand the crisis our hero is facing right now, we've got to rewind way back. We need to talk about an ancient war that still echoes through the world of Ryugaya, because it's the foundation for everything that's about to happen. And here is our ultimate bad guy, Armageddon. What's so scary about him is just how simple he is. There's no complex motive here. It's just pure pride and this bottomless hunger for conquest. He's less of a character and more like a force of nature, a relentless, primal entity. And a cosmic conflict like this isn't just going to stay up in the heavens, right? Of course not. It spills right over into the mortal world, turning Rugeia into a massive battlefield for dragons. And humanity? Well, they're just powerless people caught in the crossfire of a war they never even started. The stakes are just unbelievably high. So, how in the world does humanity fight back against a formless ancient evil? The answer is the Dragonheart. And this isn't just some title for a great warrior. A Dragonheart is a living vessel, a human who can literally contain a powerful, bodiless spirit. This whole idea of the body being a container for immense power, it is absolutely central to this entire story. All right, let's fast forward to the present day and see how that ancient war is playing out now. We're about to meet our hero, who seems like the world's last great hope. But as you can probably guess, his destiny is way more complicated and way more terrifying than anybody knows. So meet Rice. He is everything you want in a hero. He's brave, he's loyal, he protects the innocent. He's a Dragon Ranger, which is basically an elite group of protectors. On the surface, he looks like the perfect guy to carry on the Dragonheart legend. But something is wrong. His friend Shin, who's a really powerful psychic, starts to sense this terrifying presence lurking inside Ray's mind. He actually sees a vision of a massive, shackled black dragon trying to break free from a prison deep, deep down in Ray's soul. And this is the twist that flips the entire story on its head. The prophesied savior, the Dragonheart, is also the vessel for the ultimate destroyer, Armageddon. The hero and the villain are the same person, locked in this brutal internal battle for control of one single body. And the split in his personality is just absolute. You can see it just by how they talk. On one hand, you've got Ray's, who's humble and selfless, and on the other, you've got this arrogant, genocidal monster, Armageddon. When that switch happens, it's not just a mood swing. It's a complete and total replacement of one soul with another. It's terrifying. And this takeover doesn't happen all at once. It's this slow, horrifying progression. It starts with little things. His eyes start glowing. He's muttering hateful things. But then it escalates to this uncontrolled rage, adopting the fighting style of an old villain. And then, finally, he just comes out and says it. He's not Race anymore. The real Race is being erased, piece by piece. So, as you can imagine, this catastrophic change forces everyone, including the people who love him the most, to see him not as a friend they need to save, but as a monster they need to stop. The story just takes this really dark, tragic turn. And then we hit the point of no return. Armageddon, now in full control, turns Race's own body against his friends. He literally impales his rival, Darak, without a second of hesitation. In that moment, the hero we knew is gone. He's the monster now, and any trust his friends had in him is completely shattered. And if the physical attack wasn't bad enough, then comes the emotional gut punch. These words, coming from Aurora, his closest friend, they're just devastating. All she can see is the monster, and her rejection, her fear, it just pushes the real Ray, who's still trapped inside, further into despair, which, of course, is exactly what Armageddon wants. So, with his own friends turning on him, the official verdict finally comes down. The Dragon Lord, the leader of his own order, declares Riz a threat to the entire world, a threat that has to be eliminated. In the blink of an eye, he goes from their celebrated hero to a hunted fugitive with a death sentence. But wait. there is one tiny sliver of hope. Another friend, Kyla, manages to negotiate a deadline. She gets them 24 hours. Just 24 hours to find some kind of peaceful solution. This ticking clock just injects so much urgency into the story. It is a desperate race against time to save Race before his former allies have no choice but to kill him. So the physical fight might be over for now, but the real war, that's just getting started. The battle has to move to a whole new plane of existence now, the hero's own mind. This is it, the desperate, metaphysical mission to save Race from the inside out. And you know, it's Derek, the very guy Race almost killed, who's the first one to figure out what's really going on. He realizes they're not fighting Race. They need to be fighting for Race. The true enemy is Armageddon, and Race is just his first victim. This one realization completely reframes the entire conflict. It's not a hunt anymore, it's a rescue mission. Which really brings us to the core question of this whole story. It takes this huge, high fantasy idea and makes it incredibly personal. How do you wage a war against an enemy that has literally taken root in your friend's consciousness? Where do you even begin? So, the team comes up with a plan, and it is as daring as it is metaphysical. First, they all have to accept Dark's truth. Race is a prisoner. Next, Aurora has to step up and wield these ancient, powerful blades. And finally, they're going to use Shin's psychic powers to do the impossible. Literally dive into Race's mind and fight Armageddon on the battlefield of his soul. I mean, just think about how insane that is. They're not traveling to some dragon's lair or an evil castle. They are journeying into the subconscious of a person who is possessed by a hateful, godlike being. It's the ultimate uncharted territory. And that leaves us with this final, haunting question. When they dive into the depths of his mind, what are they going to find? Is there enough of the real Race left in there to even save? Or has Armageddon's darkness already consumed everything, and is he just setting a trap for the very friends trying to rescue him? The battle for a hero's soul is officially on.